Hello everybody and welcome back to 54 Nights RV. I'm Chris.
I'm Terry.
And that's the KOA in Alamosa, Colorado. It doesn't talk, so it's not going to introduce itself. This is our Colorado trip, and one of our first stops was Great Sand Dunes National Park. Every time we head up to the Rocky Mountains, we kind of pick some other odd place just to stop in and visit for a day or two, and this happened to be it. Our choice of KOA, the good thing about a KOA is you got a pretty good idea of what you're going to get. The bad thing about a KOA is you've got a pretty good idea of what you're going to get. There are other camping options around Great Sand Dunes National Park. There's some BLM land. There's a state park, San Luis State Park there. There's also a campground at the national park itself, as long as you have something under 35 foot. And if you're pushing 35 foot, there's only a handful of sites that you can fit in. They do take reservations, and the reason we didn't stay in the national park was because it was full when I decided to take a look. This was August when we went. No hookups. It's primitive camping, but pretty cool spot. But
At the park, not the KOA.
yeah, KOA it's a KOA. I mean, everybody's lined up like they're in a parking lot. Sometimes you come across a KOA that is really nice, comparatively. Other times you get in one like this that is basically like a Walmart parking lot with grass and hookups. And there's the sand dunes, the tallest sand dunes in North America. We took a trail there behind the visitor center. I believe the day we arrived, we scooted over there. We have a national park pass, an annual pass, so we've already paid our fee to get in the park. So anytime we go to a national park, we just visit as often as possible. But this is the just a little nature trail right behind the visitor center. It's pretty cool just the way those sand dunes are in the foreground, and in the background you got snow-capped peaks of the Rocky Mountains. Pretty easy trail. I think it's you could probably take one of those little motorized scooters down it. And did see some deer through here, rabbits.
People with cowboy hats.
Weird people with cowboy hats. Nobody wears cowboy hats anymore. That is my camping hat.
Oh, sorry.
Got some interesting signs throughout there that kind of learn you a bit on the park and the sand dunes.
Different kind of vegetation out there.
Yeah. There's Madano Pass is a 4x4 road. It's high clearance. Got to have 4x4, or that's what they say. I've seen lifted Subarus going through that road without a problem, but it takes you to the other side of the mountains there. There's a long stretch of sand. Reason we didn't take it, actually, we hadn't lifted the Subi yet, and there's a long stretch of sand that I didn't feel comfortable with street tires on the car.
And wasn't there a warning sign also right at the beginning of that?
Yeah.
About what kind of vehicles are not allowed?
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do once you get on there in your Honda Civic? I mean,
They're gonna pull you out because you're stuck.
but there's, they've got, there's a National Wildlife Refuge there by the KOA that we stayed at. There's the Blanca Wetlands, which is just south of the national park. I mean, it borders a national park. There's a state park on the west side of the dunes. Seems like there's another wildlife refuge or grassland or something there right in the area. There's an alligator farm. I bet you didn't know that there were alligators in Colorado. They're imported immigrants. So those darned immigrant alligators taking everybody's jobs. Was there 2 or 3 or 4 14ers right there?
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Blanca Peaks, I believe, is the tallest one there, and I want to say Bear or Little Bear, and there's a couple of them there. And if we had been there for a little bit longer, we probably would have taken Blanca Peak.
We had just left Oklahoma. We hadn't acclimated to the altitude yet.
Yeah, we would have been out of breath after the first 100 yards or so trying to go up there. There's a visitor center right up ahead there. It's a pretty cool national park. I mean, you look on the map and you see Great Sand Dunes National Park, and you're like, oh, okay, sand. But it is really pretty neat place. I wouldn't mind going back. You can rent boards to surf the sand dunes, and in one of these videos you'll see a couple of kids surfing down the dunes, and
wasn't us.
It could have been me if I would have known ahead of time. So I'm letting you know before you go there.
You still wouldn't have been a kid though, just at heart.
I would have acted like a kid right up to the point where I had
You're always acting like a kid, so.
I am not. Somewhere in here in the visitor center, it says something about cardboard doesn't work so well when you're trying to surf down the dunes.
And one thing you have to remember, you have to carry that board that you rent up the dunes. And these dunes, for every step you take, it's like, I mean, I guess we'll visit this later, but for every step you take, it's like 3 normal steps up because you're sinking into the sand. So remember that if you want to take a board, it's going to make your trip up a little tougher.
Yeah, it is. Imagine walking through the beach only uphill.
Yeah.
This is Madano Creek, and it is really, you see that wave coming through there. Well, what happens is you get silt built up on the bed of this creek, and the water comes up to that little dam that is made by that silt, and once the pressure builds up, well, then it breaks through that dam, and that's what causes these waves. It's like a surf. A small one, but it's still like a surf.
It changes.
But, I mean, 1 second, the water can be, like, up to your toenails, and then all of a sudden it's flowing into your boots. It's like standing on the shore of the ocean or something. But from what I understand, the locals come out here and they treat it like the beach. I mean, actually, I think there was a couple of tailgate tents set up out there on one of our trips. But they go out there and they spend the whole day out there playing in the sand and playing in the creek. And you can see it's.
You just kind of bust loose. It's like it's just real shallow and just kind of meandering, and then in one area the water just kind of like breaks loose and
Yeah.
pretty
And
neat, pretty fun.
at some point, there in the dunes, the creek kind of fades away, but it's actually kind of going under, and that's what helps form the wetlands to the south. Yeah, it is a remarkable place and well worth the visit. Alamosa looked pretty interesting. We didn't have enough time to go into town other than to buy some steps so that we could get in and out of the RV, because that was when our entry steps failed. So we had to run to Walmart or Ace Hardware or somewhere to grab us some steps. And this was like the beginning of a 2-week journey.
One interesting thing about the sand dunes is they never get lower, even though as you walk up them, you know, all the sand's going down, but apparently the way the wind comes around, it builds it back
Yep.
up. Thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that wind comes sweeping off the mountains and just pushes that sand right back up to the top of the hill. It is real interesting, and there's a lot to learn there in that visitor center about this area.
And you can bring your dogs. It's hot, and sand can be very hot, but just saw a dog in that last picture. You can bring your dogs.
I wasn't aware of that. Or can you bring them, or did they just bring them just to get away with
A
it?
lot of people had them in the river,
Yeah.
the Madano Creek.
So I mean,
Maybe, I'm not sure about on the dunes.
you know, there's only less than a handful of national parks where you can actually take your dog out on hiking trails or out into some of these areas. You know, if you got your pooch with you, you might want to look ahead on the park website.
We did not see any at the top of the dunes, so that's...
Yeah, that's actually a good thing. Is that, like she said, that sand gets hot. It was August, and really the temperature was pretty modest. And
It was a mild year.
okay, who acts like a kid?
That person in that video, I don't even know why
yeah.
you're videotaping.
Oh yeah,
that
look at her. She
person.
jumps up and throws her arms in the air and dares somebody else to do it too. Huh.
I don't know why you're videotaping that stranger.
She's got...
Go on.
Yeah, it is. I don't remember how many square miles this area was, but it is pretty big. The tallest dune, you know, you look at this shot here and you think that, you know, the tallest dune is right here in the foreground, but it's actually on deeper into the dunes area. So, I mean, when we did hike up there, it was a couple hour trip, so I can't imagine going deeper into the tallest dune. This here is Alamosa Wildlife Refuge.
There wasn't much wildlife.
Yeah, no, there wasn't. I mean, there was a couple of cars parked out there, and that was about as wild as it got. It was August, and it's kind of wet, and the bugs were actually tugging on the door handles of the car, wanting us to come out and play.
Bring bug spray.
Yeah.
And if you're hiking out there, we've hiked in some little areas with some water. Bring bug spray.
Yep. Yeah, you'll want some bug spray. And I actually think there was something about that, of course, with the whole whatever the latest mosquito spread virus is. You know, it's pretty high priority on getting bug spray, and they had signs there. The visitor center was closed by the time we got over here. right up there, that's Blanca Peak, and the other 3 peaks right there in that cluster. Yeah, by the time we got out there that night, or that evening, the visitor center was closed, so we didn't get to go inside and learn anything more about this area. It was a nice, pleasant little drive. We was hoping to see some wildlife. Well, I think we saw a bird. Pretty sure we saw a bird. Yeah, you can see, look at those bugs.
Yeah,
Oh my
those
gosh.
aren't birds.
Yeah, those aren't the birds I'm talking about. They were trying to figure out how to pick up a Subaru. We only saw 2 other, maybe 3 other people out there on that. And I don't know, I guess that creek's a good spot to go fishing. I don't know. Yeah, we love the mountains. We really do. If we weren't tied down where we're at, we'd probably move out where there's mountains out our back porch.
We love the beach too. I think the mountains might win just by a bit. Or go out to California where there's beach and mountains.
Yeah, but then you got all those weirdos.
I'm from California.
Oh. Yeah, we should go to California.
Right.
Ow. She hit me. While we were out here, we also went and cruised around Blanca Wetlands. We hiked up on, well, there's a Blanca Wetlands right there. A little hiking trail. Not very, I mean, it looked like at one time this was a really pretty little, well-maintained walking trail, nature trail type thing. But it's not so much anymore. It's getting overgrown, and some of those blocks have disappeared or been washed away. Right here, where it was just a nice, pleasant walk. Like I said, the temperature there was pretty moderate.
There's like one other person, or
Yeah.
one other couple or something
Yeah.
out there.
But like I was saying, while we were here, we did hike up onto the dunes. We also went to Zapata Falls, which is a really, really cool place. The falls coming right down through this crevice. I do have a video of that coming up. Also have video of us going up to the one of the peaks of one of the dunes, so get to see some sand borders and just see how far we sink into that sand when we're walking up it. Anyhow, this was our first day in town, kind of doing some exploring, but we'll catch you next go around. Don't forget, subscribe, like it if you like it, don't like it if you don't.
And leave comments, and if you've been there, we'd love to hear what you thought.
Oh yeah. You got places we missed? Tell us, because we'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, we'll catch you all down the road.
Goodbye.